Brothers and sisters in Christ, I am excited to share with you that as the summer comes to an end and with September and then the fall quickly approaching, we're making plans here at GBUMC to resume many of our familiar rhythms of worship, ministry, programs, and discipleship. It is important to note that while the COVID-19 pandemic is still with us, remembering that we are a global community, the rates of infection and spread in Genesee County remain relatively low, and we will hopefully stay that way. As folks continue to get their vaccines and as vaccination availability for children is hopefully in the near future, it is my prayer that we will continue to experience a relatively low-risk environment here in Michigan. Additionally, we are not ignoring the concerns posed by the Delta variant, as it's become the dominant variant in the pandemic. Heeding the advice of the CDC, particularly in light of vaccine availability, we are confident that we can, at this point, return to many of our familiar rhythms of ministry with a low degree of risk. All of that being said, it is important that we remember a few things. First, for a time, there will be those who still have reservations about returning to in-person and/or indoor gatherings, while those who have been vaccinated against the novel coronavirus are at a significantly lower risk of succumbing to and transmitting COVID-19. Everyone is assessing their risk level differently and in appropriate ways for themselves and/or their families. Furthermore, a significant number of our neighbors and congregants are not yet able to be vaccinated, namely children under the age of 12. It is important that we, as a congregation, remain understanding, compassionate toward, and sympathetic of one another in the season of reestablishing a new rhythm for our daily lives. Second, we will no longer require those who have been vaccinated to wear a mask. For anyone over the age of 2 who has not yet been vaccinated, either by circumstance or by choice, is still asked to properly wear a mask while indoors. That being said, everyone is and always will be welcome to wear a protective face mask, even if you have been vaccinated. The CDC continues to encourage everyone to wear masks, regardless of vaccination status. Masks will continue to be available and welcome here. And third, perhaps it goes without saying, but it is still important that we care for one another's health. If you are not feeling well for any reason, please remain home until you are feeling better and are symptom-free. Certainly, you're probably wondering about worship. Beginning in September, we will return to the typical Sunday worship schedule of 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., with both services being held inside the sanctuary. Please know that the 9 a.m. service will continue to be live streamed for those who will choose that option. In large part, the worship styles and practices will resume as well, along with some of my new elements that I have brought. As you join us for worship, please be reminded that the worship attendance may not initially return to the familiar levels that we're used to as we continue in this uncertain season. It is worth noting that the evolution of our virtual options, though not ideal for everyone, has become helpful for some and will remain an option as we will be gradually enhancing it. Small group gatherings will continue to be held and able to meet in classrooms and gathering spaces, again following masking and distancing guidelines for those who are unvaccinated. If you are part of a small group, you may want to consider providing continued virtual means for individuals to participate. Let's be radically hospitable and inclusive. And if you're wondering, it is also entirely appropriate for small groups, teams, and committees to continue meeting virtually if and when they choose to do so. It is reasonable to assume that we've discovered a helpful tool in the form of virtual meeting rooms. For parents, I want to offer assurances that ministries that are designed especially for children and for older youth will continue to be mindful that everyone has different levels of comfort with indoor and in-person gatherings. Where possible and prudent, creative ways, such as outdoor, virtual, etc., for engaging all children in meaningful worship will continue to be a focus and a commitment of this church. Again, radical hospitality. As United Methodists, we're known for eating, and that will continue to resume as well. Things such as fellowship and coffee hour on Sundays, meals, luncheons, and hall rentals will all be able to resume. One change that you'll notice is that food, including potluck items, will be served cafeteria style rather than buffet or family style. As many of our familiar rhythms resume, you will likely need to be in touch with the church office, either in person or by phone or email. Effective Tuesday, September 7th, the office will resume its regular office hours of Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I hope you will join me in expressing your appreciation to our office staff, Kathy and Angela, for their incredible and diligent work during the last year and a half. We have worked hard to make sure that nothing fell through the cracks, and they have done a great job of that. Now, before I sign off, let me offer just a couple of reminders and thoughts. In an effort to demonstrate solidarity with all our brothers and sisters in Christ, it is my hope that we can continue to create a hospitable and safe environment for all of our neighbors of all ages. This is a time for radical hospitality and radical kindness. Even as we approach a greater percentage of vaccinated persons and continue to experience lower risk conditions, it is important to note that a positive COVID-19 case in the church is entirely possible. Again, we ask you to continue to be mindful of your own health and remain home should you not be feeling your best. Should we become aware that a positive COVID-19 case is in the church, the congregation will be notified in a way that maintains the privacy of the individual, yet still cares for the well-being of all. All ministries and programs will continue as planned, unless we're instructed to do otherwise. Around the building, we will continue with safe and effective cleaning methods to help maintain as much of a low-risk environment as possible for everyone. Please do your part by washing your hands and covering sneezes and coughs. Finally, I want to reiterate the encouragement of our Bishop David Bard, as well as my own encouragement to please get vaccinated if you have not yet. I understand the hesitancy, especially given the newness and expediency of it, the politics that have surrounded it, and some feelings of general uncertainty. Should you have questions, please speak with your family physician and seek out credible sources of information. This is simply the greatest and most important step we can take to save lives and to further resume our daily living with safety for all. I also want to remind you of this. Despite all that we have faced and the challenges that we will still face, we move forward in trust and thanksgiving for the one who sustains us through the power of God's almighty grace. That is God's will for us. I look forward to continuing in ministry with you. Peace.